As we all know, Microsoft announced the purchase of Activision Blizzard back in the January of 2022. This is potentially great news for Heroes of Storm, as the game has been on live support with little real investment since 2020. However, with a giant like Microsoft picking up the reins, there is potential they pump more investment and time into making a success of the game. Okay, so one of the biggest reasons Blizzard cut support for Heroes of the Storm in the first instance was that it was not as profitable as their other IPs. You see, in many instances, HOTS was actually competing with some of their other games. We saw players transition from playing WoW and Diablo with subscription-based services to playing Heroes of the Storm, which was free to play. Why? Well, because they are on the same goddamn launcher, that's why. One of the biggest issues with this game is that it's stuck on the Battle.net launcher. Sure, there's lots of traffic of Blizzard's intended audience through this app, but you compare it to something like Steam and there's no competition. So you know the easiest way to breathe life into the game? Just port it to Steam. Here is a list of games that excelled as soon as they were ported to Steam. Notice a pattern with some of these games? Yes, you guessed it. Many are actually Microsoft IPs now, so they have already proven it works. The other benefit of having the game on Steam is the community support. This would make it much easier for people to add community-made content and mods, adding diversity and something new to the game that is lacking. Also, why not open the game up to actual custom game modes like an in-game sandbox system? Microsoft games like Halo, for example, have done this super successfully. I spent countless days in Forge with friends when I was younger curating fun maps that challenge the conventional game modes. Another thing that Microsoft brings to the table is their own IPs and characters. Literally, the whole point of Heroes of the Storm was that heroes from different universes were coming together to fight. Diablo has absolutely nothing to do with WoW or Overwatch, so why couldn't we explore something like the Halo or Doom universes?
Well, it wouldn't be the same.
Look, I understand the hesitation to change, but what would you prefer? Millions more players, renewed investment, esports and fresh content, or a stagnant game with no investment? I know what I would choose. Within Microsoft IPs, there are so many characters to choose from with interesting and unique options in terms of a toolset. I have always said I would love to see someone like Spyro. His kit would literally just be a worse version of the in-game Dragon Knight, with fire breath and a charge ability. Here is a list of some of the other characters that we could see, or at least those that I've chosen that stand out. But who would you choose? Another thing Microsoft has demonstrated over the years is their commitment to community engagement. We see this in games like Call of Duty and Halo. Applying this same philosophy to Heroes of the Storm would drastically improve the relationship between fans and the devs. At the minute, players have little steer on what happens to the game, though ultimately this is a result of the small dev support available. They are doing the best with the resources they have. Having the ability to listen and action some of the feedback from the community through polls and online engagement is a surefire way to evolve the game. This would also help rebuild the trust the community once had with the dev team, fixing issues that have plagued the community for almost a decade now. So I have to address the elephant in the room. As of recording this video, it's September 2024, 2.5 years from the proposed acquisition. And what has changed? Well, not a huge amount. Sure, in 2024 we have seen some rather large balance patches that the community has been screaming for, but I can't say for certain this was a result of the acquisition, and I have definitely not heard any rumours about a Steam port. So as much as the Microsoft acquisition could be exactly what the community needs, it's not a certainty that things will get any better. All we can do is elevate talks about how much of a goldmine Heroes of the Storm could be to Microsoft by building hype in comments, Reddit posts and other social media platforms. I genuinely believe HOTS has the potential to be much more. I've covered lots of good things about it in other videos, so please take a look. But what do you think? Is a Steam port or new heroes from Microsoft IPs a good idea? If you liked the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. I post Heroes of the Storm videos at least twice a week.